Let's clear our energy. So, have you ever, in the midst of shadow work and being connected to a significant other or a friend or anyone else, while you're having a conversation, you catch yourself in your trigger? In the space of projecting? Yeah, to talk about shadow work, like that happened today, that between my boyfriend and I, actually it happened a couple days ago and he brought it up. Thank you. And it was about, you might be having a lot of interruptions. Mercury retrograde affects electronics and communications. Breathe through it. So in the middle of a conversation, we were talking about things that were bothering us. And we're just reflections of each other. We are mirrors as human beings, as souls. And so whatever triggers you, whatever triggers me is my responsibility. Whatever triggers you is your responsibility. I'll get to it. So we talk a lot. We're both very spiritual people. We like to call ourselves that anyway. And we talk a lot. And I listen a lot. And he listens. And I was like, you talk more than I do. and he took that as he talks too much. And he doesn't. Has a lot to say. You may have a lot to say. When I was little, someone made me feel like I talked too much. So when I told him that was me projecting my own wounding into his space. It had nothing to do with him. It's because somebody 35 years ago told me that made me feel like I was too much. It hurt my my self-worth wound. Like I wasn't good enough to be heard. I wasn't worthy of being heard or listened to. And that was just a projected wound from his generational trauma. From the adults in my space, that they heard that somewhere from somebody that was important to them. And they were just dripping that wound down onto me. And then, even though I've done a lot of shadow work, we are never done until we are done on this plane of existence, on the timeline where we're at. And so every once in a while, that little beastie comes up to look at. And so we chatted about it again today, and he went and took a nap, and I made lunch for both of us to have when he woke up. And he came out a little while later. Now, I need to apologize. What I said to you about talking too much, that has nothing to do with you. And I'm sorry. It's not your responsibility, it's mine. And it was because I just reiterated what I just told you. And because he shone light on a space that I hadn't been able to look at yet. And I feel safe around him emotionally and mentally and spiritually. That we have conversations like this. And a lot of the work that we do in our heart space has to do with holding ourselves accountable as individuals. So in that moment where we had talked, I reacted. I wasn't angry or upset or frustrated, and he took it personally. And that's an opportunity for him to call his power back from me and look at that and not take things that I say personally. But it's also an opportunity for me to look at myself and respond instead of react. So I asked for a card to connect to what I was going to talk about tonight. From getting into the Vortex with Esther and Jerry Hicks, the amethyst crystal might be helpful for you. It helps with anxiety and depression also. This says, making peace with my today will improve my future. Card number 41. It may sound odd, but the fastest way to get to a new and improved situation is to make peace with your current situation. By making lists of the most positive aspects you can find about your current situation, you then release resistance to the improvements that are waiting for you. But if you rail against the injustices of your current situation, you hold yourself in a vibrational alignment with what you do not want, and you cannot then move in the direction of improvement. It defies law, like law of attraction. Because wherever we are at vibrationally within self, however we think, however we speak, whatever we feel, that message goes out to the universe and wants to ping it back to us via people in front of us or around us to trigger us, to help us look at ourselves on where we need to look at the wounding in self. And so I was in vibrational alignment with him in the space of I called that experience into my space to heal and to look at myself. And that's important to recognize, because I signed up for that this journey. So number 41 out of my angel number book is wishes made. Hope is faith that in divine timing, you'll get what you need. Your angels want you to discard a specific timeline for the arrival of what you want. Wish for those things to come, but detach from how and when they do. Write down something you feel stressed about presently and bury the paper as a symbolic gesture that good things will grow in time. And I sure as heck needed that message today. You might be going through some stressful things in your space. Remember that the universe works for you, but also that you work for yourself and that you're responsible for yourself. And you have to be an advocate for yourself, because nobody is coming to save you. You are the hero of your story. It was always you. And in the universe, it's you and the universe, and in alignment. But anyway, I wanted to share that with you, that even the people on here or in life that talk about issues, just know that even if they talk a lot about healing, that they're just as human as you are. And you shouldn't compare yourself to anybody but who you were yesterday. Not to me, not to anybody else. Just compare wherever you are at now to where you were before and see how far you've come, and give yourself credit for that, because you deserve a pat on the back. So give it to yourself. Love from me to you. Namaste.